Howdy neighbor, how is your garden growing? My garden? Well, we have to continue on with our gardening plan and we need to start reseeding some of our cold weather crops and warm weather crops so that we can have the winter vegetable garden of our dreams. So if you want some inspiration for getting back on track with reseeding some things, or you're looking for some ideas of some things to do during the holidays, or as always, if you're just wanting to hang out with me and Miss Shiloh, that's what we're gonna be doing today. And as always, to keep me on track, I'm gonna be using my handy dandy Wild Floridian garden planner. So if you guys remember, we did recently a little update, a seedling update, a vegetable garden tour to see how things were doing. And I made a bunch of notes, if y'all remember, so that I can know what do I need to reseed. And that is what we're gonna start doing. So today is a froggy day, which I feel like is a really good time to start some seeds because moisture is being held closer to the ground and seeds need lots of moisture. So on my list, here's what we got to get done. We need to fill in some gaps for some Texas granos. Those are a type of onion. I'm a big fan of trying to use a lot of onion varieties out of Texas because they're really, really good suppliers. Like their agricultural industry is really good for supplying lots and lots and lots of onions. And Texas Central and Southern Texas have very, very similar climates to Florida in very similar timings. So it's like kind of a good, this is my little cheat for you, is if you're looking for varieties of onions, if anything's really successful in Texas, probably successful here in Florida. So we're doing Texas granos. We have some gaps to fill in. We have some Waltham 29s. We're just gonna seed these ones all in place. There's little pockets here and there. I think are these sweet Valentines? I'll look at my little map to verify. They have some gaps. We lost a couple other things because squirrels, but not much. And then we were gonna replant some of the peppers in place, especially those jalapenos. We are not doing strawberries today because my strawberries look like garbage and I'm probably just gonna hold off. We're just gonna chuck them somewhere for right now, but we're not gonna worry about them because we got some things we really need to get done today. And then in trays, and then up front, we'll seed in place the pimento. I'll probably, you know what I might do is I might just seed up front the California Wonders that I need to replace and then move them. Because here's the thing, I'm going on vacation. By the time you guys see this, I'll be back from vacation. But one of the challenges is if you seed it in trays, who's watering it while you're gone? Challenge. So I'm going to be using, I want to say it was Tammy's trick, but I feel like it might not have been Tammy, might have been someone else's. But I'm going to use those bins that I was using with the tomatoes before. It worked really well. I was just letting tomatoes linger too long. I'll show you what I'm doing. But basically we're going to seed some trays for tomatoes. Definitely. The tomatoes look, other than the Everglades tomatoes. The Everglades tomatoes are Jacqueline, it's fine. You can treat us like garbage. We will grow no matter what. So if you're not good at tomatoes. But all the other tomatoes we're gonna restart in trays, and those we're gonna use some bins to keep them alive while we carry onward with this whole thing. I feel like I'm saying a lot. We should just get going. Let's get going. Okay, we're gonna start on this bed first, figuring out what gaps we have. We're gonna be filling in any gaps to this plan. So when I'm looking at this bed, the onions in general look pretty good. I need to put a few more of these Texas granos in here. The broccoli overall is fine. The lettuce, the butter crunch lettuce. Oh, this is the totally wrong bed. I'm actually at this bed. Whoopsies. So we got some onions. We have a little bit of broccoli I need to do. Oh yeah, that's right. If you guys remember, this onion looks like garbage. And then we definitely need to do green onions all across the board. So I think we're just gonna take it bed by bed. That way I don't miss anything as I'm going. If I go around and I'm I'm doing broccolis, or I'm just gonna end up forgetting what I did in what section. So I feel like if I just get each section, I'm not gonna even do each bed. I'm gonna do we're gonna get this section right, and we'll get this section right. I think that's what we're gonna do. Though your advice is always much appreciated. I read through all the comments and I always think to myself oh, that's a good idea. So even if I don't do it right this time, your feedback sits in my brain for the next time when I need to do it. All right, in this bed, we have all of our lettuces. The broccolis are fine. We just need to fill this gap in for Texas grano back here. And I have, as always, I have my little handy dandy all organized. I feel like I need some something to help with place holding in here, but it's not that much flipping I have to do. Okay, so let me find my Texas This is what they are, Texas Early Grano. That's what we're gonna go put in to fill in this gap right here. This is the packet from before, and apparently I used it all up. Good thing I have an extra. So my new good habit, because especially with Southern Exposure, these are resealable packets. I used to just like tear them off right here. That was a very bad idea, because I couldn't reseal them. So here we go, Texas Granos, right in this gap that I missed. Definitely have a pretty good big gap that we need to fill right. And the reason we're doing trench is that seems to be the most effective for me with this, especially when you have something that can be planted pretty tight together. So green onions, or onions right there. On this side, if you guys remember, this is like where I'm not sure what happened in my life that like the onions are everywhere. And then we need to plant one Waltham. We got enough butter crunch lettuce right here, so we're good on that. It looks like some more coming up, but like, I don't know if like a squirrel got here or what happened. A bit nutty. Now, if you remember, this is like, you do not want to go deep on this stuff. These are tiny little seeds. And maybe that was the problem. Maybe with some of these big gaps, I was a little too aggressive with how deep I put them. If I remember right, this was the last bed I seeded, so maybe I was just tired and I was like, I'm done. So that has happened before. So we got DeChico. So right here is where we should have had a Waltham coming up. I don't know what happened. I might have just forgotten to put them in there, or I put them in there and I was doing it too deep. Because of the germination rate that we did get, I'm gonna go with it. Somehow I planted it wrong, or we had like a squirrel bird problem again. But now this bed is refilled. Hooray! Actually, that's not true. We didn't put in the green onions, and the green onions, we had a lot of options, but we had used the Fairy Morris ones. And my theory is maybe the Fairy Morrises are old. I know a few of you guys, when I did the tour, were saying that your Fairy Morris onions didn't come up. So I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt that this is probably an old packet. Yeah, they're old. They're from 2022. So, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not great either. So we've got but we have other options from Southern Exposure, and everything that's come up has been Southern Exposure outside. It's the only thing I used, the tomatoes were also Fairy Morris, but everything else was Southern Exposure. So overall, very happy with Southern Exposure results. I think that's the thing, is like good company, also using them in a timely manner is good to do. So I know I had like a few different varieties of green onions. I had options. And I just went with the Fairy Morris. One, I knew it was an old packet, but two, I don't know. Like green onions, like I'm not really sure what, there's that much of a difference. What happened to them? Oh, here's another Texas Grano packet. Oh, you know what? I probably moved them into the other bin. But I think this Evergreen Hardy White Bunching Onion. Let's try this one. This is packed for 2023, so let's put these in. And here's the thing, if they don't come up, which they will, we have confidence, right? Is that the onion greens, same tomato, right? It's just they're not gonna build. The biggest difference is that this doesn't create a big bulb, those do. So let's put some of these guys in the ground. And I think the original spacing idea, which is to put them in between a little bit in between, but outside the peppers, is someone was making a really good point. I wish I could remember who said it, because it was a really good point that peppers like to lean on each other. Also, y'all said that I shouldn't worry about replanting kale. Your kales did the same thing. So I am going to trust. I'm not replanting kale. I'm just gonna go with that. We're gonna go with it. This whole squiggle thing that's happening with the kales, y'all said it was okay. So I'll leave it. I've only grown kale once before, so I will trust about the whole kale thing. Green onions I've grown before. That's why I was just like, oh, nothing came up. That's a bummer. Okay, so what we were doing was we're kind of creating, like going slightly outside our little diamond with our green onions. Actually, right about where this divot is. And right here, we're just gonna put a few seeds in. Pretty deep. I'm not too, oh, that divot was really aggressive. I'm not gonna worry too much about these guys coming up at the end of the day, if I really need to, I could go buy some scraps from Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, and I can just shove them in the ground. That'll be my backup. These guys actually look really happy. The new growth is looking really good. Feeling pretty good about them. They get shrubby, very shrubby. I think I got a giant hole right here. I probably shouldn't stick my hand in just a giant hole, but what I'm thinking is there's some like collapsing of plant material down in here. Though these beds have been watered so much, the fact that we have a sudden collapse, interesting. It's on this bed and that bed, not the other ones. You want to see what I'm saying? I'll show you. A hole right here, and you might think an animal dug this giant hole, but this looks more like a collapse because you don't see any like dirt flung up. That's a concern because as all these plants get larger roots, if there are cavities below, that will kill them, and that's no bueno. I have to think about what we do with that. I've got a bunch of green onions in my hand, so I probably should just go put green onions everywhere. And you can see how foggy it up. My hair looks like humidity. Little hole, little hole, little hole. I'm putting like a bunch. I've been overseeding way more than you need to. It's my lack of confidence. I'll own that. The good thing is that we've had everybody's coming up. And if I can get each of these little overseeding places, it's gonna pay for itself. So I'm okay with being obnoxious. See? Also, do you guys do green onion recipes? I'm a big fan of green onion soup, aka scallion soup. What do you use your green onions for? Do you use your green onions, or are you not a fan? You should use your green onions. It's so easy. So easy one way or another. So let's go and check our other beds to figure out who needs to go next. We did our green onions. This has cubanelles. Cubanelles looked good. We've got the beets, all these green onions, all the lettuces here. This bed's good. Overall, this bed did really, really well. The biggest thing this bed's gonna end up needing soon is the hardest thing to do. Thin. We'll need to thin some stuff in a little while, but otherwise, looking really good in this bed. Okay, let's go check the next bed. I don't know about you, but like, do you ever have this time period where you're just like, you hit this season where you're like, I'm not that good at this stuff? And all this stuff is saying, you know what, Jacqueline, why are you getting down on yourself? Have confidence. Have confidence. You're doing great. Look at it. Those aren't doing great. The jalapenos need to be redone. But everything else, I mean, these are looking great. Definitely need to thin. But we need to get lettuce. This is Cosmo. I know that. So we got our Cosmo romaine. I like to do our cut and come again lettuces because, of course, Florida, pest activity. I can see some buggies crawling around. Though nothing anything bad really here. Mostly millipedes. Don't put too much. You know what? There's only one lettuce right here. I'm going to actually throw a couple more in. You know why? Because I just feel like it's only going to take one little caterpillar, and this one lettuce is bye-bye. And then we have 1, 2, 3, and then right here, which I think was a lettuce that I planted. But there's like a lot of little mulchies right here. Let me show you. Where this like one little lettuce is coming up, it's like all mulch. So I just planted a few right here where it's not mulch, because I don't know if that's made it harder for what few seeds are in this area to come up. So I'm gonna give them a fresh start. But that's all that needs to be done right here. So now that we've got that lettuce fixed, this bed actually just jalapenos. Okay, so we'll just go find our little jalapeno seeds, because overall we're doing really good. Are you doing really good? And also, what's your favorite lettuce for cut and come again? Or are you a risk taker? Do you go and like try to do the head lettuce? Scary. But if you do, I'd be curious, what do you do and which type, like which varieties do you do? Where'd you get your variety from? Because of course different companies might work better. Yeah, I'd be curious, because I'm always about the cut and come again. I do not have the confidence in my zone 10A, 10B to wait that long for the bugs to not eat it. So I generally am like, yeah, we're gonna do cut and come again, because they're definitely gonna eat all this stuff. So I'm curious what you guys do, and also what zone slash, you know, give us like your city, county. You don't give your address. Privacy for you. But like what area do you live in? Because it matters. Coastal areas, because we still, I mean, like, I'm getting mosquito bite. We've just had cold snap after cold snap, but we're still, they're trying to come back. These mosquitoes are like, it's warm, we're gonna drink your blood. Okay, let's find my jalapeno packet. I need to restart these. They look like well, like, especially this, I'll show you closer. Some of these look like garbage. I know, I'm talking so negatively about them. They're probably like, oh, don't be mad at us. You're the ones who screwed up. I know, I totally did. Hybrid sweet peppers. And I would just like to say, you warned me that the Hungarian wax peppers were hot. I tried one this morning. I just grabbed it, shoved the whole thing in my mouth. Came inside, told them that I regretted all my life choices. He's like, did you just eat a pepper? And I'm like, yes. He's like, the whole thing? I was like, the whole thing. The whole thing, I ate it all. Didn't really think much of it. And now I realized that was a terrible idea. Yeah. Where are my pepper seeds? Why might I see Hungarian wax, pimento, California Wonder. That's another onion packet. Then 4th of July's early treats, other tomatoes, beets, Waltham 29, then lettuce, kale, broccoli, should go with broccoli, carrots, Nassau hybrid peppers, California Wonder. I've got tomatillos, which I did not do this year. Onion bunching, lettuce. Oh my gosh, where are my jalapenos? I'll be back. I have to go find where I left my jalapeno seeds. So now I know why I did not have them in my little pile right here. It's because these were seeds I collected. And so I had them in my little fancy dancy bowl. So we will go plant some of these, but I only have a few left from my harvest. So we must use these sparingly. Well, so this one looks, as you guys can see, absolutely terrible. This one looks, I mean, it's alive, but I wouldn't say it's not living its best life. This one actually looks pretty good. It's nice and straight and tall. It's got a little bit of pest activity. This also looks sad. So we're gonna just restart these, but I'm just gonna restart them right next to it. That might not be a great choice since there is some pest activity, but we're living a little wild. So I'm going to drop 2 seeds per hole, and then we're gonna call it 1 seed. Maybe I should do 3. No, because they came up pretty well actually. My germination, I'm not gonna plant right there. That one was good. So we're gonna plant right here, and then I can just get rid of the ones I don't want. Yay. Okay, so that's jalapenos planted. In this bed, is there anything else that needs to be planted? No, the lettuce, other than that lettuce spot, this was all really good. So we're good on this front. Man, those broccolis have really, look at these. And since the last time I showed you guys these Waltham 29s, I mean, they are coming along pretty fast. I think also because it warmed up. Last time I showed you, I think it was during the cold snap, so not as cute looking, but like, look at that. Look at that. And even this DeChico that had kind of like done something crazy, it's also bouncing back. So I don't know. You know, I'll put some more DeChico seeds right here. More centered also, because that plant is not centered. All right, we're gonna check this last bed. I think I definitely know we gotta get some of, I think these are the Sweet Valentine. We need to get more right there. Green onions, looking great. Cuban elms we're not gonna do anything with. So I think, yeah, we're just gonna do, right? Let's just do some of those lettuces, get them re-going, and because squirrels. And it looks like I might have some weeds also starting to consider popping up in my beds. Nothing too bad yet. It's heating up, so stuff is trying to make a bounce. It's like the Empire Strikes Back right now with some plants, so it'll be interesting. Also, some of these might be from my tropical sage, which is nearby. which is good for bees, but they reseed everywhere. Like they go. Would not be surprising that some of the seeds blew this way. So Sweet Valentine, here we go. Really only see, well, I guess there are some right here. There's some right here. Oh, there is one right here, but there's just one. So we're gonna err on the side of caution. And we'll just add more. I'm gonna add more right here because for whatever reason, we didn't germinate. And here's the thing, there's multiple reasons why things don't germinate. Some of them are within your control, some of them are not. Could be I forgot. Could be I buried them too deep. Could be they sprouted and then a squirrel sat on top of them. Could be that the sun's not enough. Water wasn't enough. Or we had enough water for a minute and then kind of dried them out. So there's like a lot of reasons why you don't get all the things popping up the way you want them to pop up. So the big thing is that that's what's nice, especially about like packets like lettuce and onions. They come with tons of seeds. So big thing is just, you know what the theme is? Resilience. Keep going. Don't worry about it. Just look, they didn't come up. And since they're pretty fast turnarounds, just reseed again. And in order to get kind of this level of popping up, we did water every day. I am not going to worry about watering every day because I'm going to be out of town for a week. So they can just sit dormant in the ground. From that standpoint, they can hang out in the ground. They might not get enough moisture to really get going. But by the time they're popping up, potentially, I will be back and can baby them and monitor them and make sure all the good things are happening the way that they're supposed to be happening. So cool. We got all this seeded. Now the question is, let's go get, oh no, we need to go do pimentos up front. Check the list, right? So we got those Texas granos all done. I did the Waltham 29s. We decided we're gonna hold off on that. We fixed the lettuce, we fixed the green onions. I'm holding off on strawberries for the moment. And then we reseeded the jalapenos. And then the next thing is California Wonder we're gonna do in place, and pimento we'll do in place. And then we'll do trays of the 4th of July and early tree. That's what we're gonna do. So let's go up front and get these in the ground. So we have our lonely missing pimento due to squirrel. And the banana peppers look great. Cubanelle looks great. Other pimento looking happy and great. So we must put another one in. Katrina says these are good, so we have to at least try, right? Looks like I was gonna say the frogs are lifting. The fog is lifting. Oh, thank goodness. You know how it gets like way more humid as it all burns off? Because that's what's happening right now. It's gross, even though it's not that hot out. We're gonna put 4 little seeds here. These are the Ashe County pimento from Southern Exposure, if you were wondering. And let's fill this little divot in where Mr. or Mrs. Squirrel was digging around. Maybe for just one of our little like millipede friends. We do tend to have millipedes in this yard. So that was easy. That was too easy. Now should I plant the California Wonders right up there? In place? What do you think? In place there, or I could leverage the space I have here because I got like a lot of space up here. Let's see you just straight up there, right? Yeah, just see it right up there. This is what I'm saying. You see these millipedes right here? Those are rusty millipedes. They like to eat dead organic material. There's actually 2 of them. There's another one right here hiding. They look like worms. They're basically the worms of the subtropics. A lot of you want to like compost with worms, but like you're gonna struggle with worms because it's too hot in Florida, especially central South Florida for worms. You can get earthworms. You can. I do get some. But you will get, like, if you kind of look at the breakdowns, like worms kind of need it to be cooler than what Florida stays at, and that our ground stays at. So millipedes do a lot of the work that worms would do in more northern climates. So enjoy your millipedes. That's what they do. They eat organic matter, they poop it out, they make, instead of worm castings, they make millipede castings, and kind of like a lot of the same stuff. So if you ever see millipedes, don't fret, don't be sad. It's actually a good thing. Reseeding California Wonder. The little challenge in this bed is that there is a lot of mulch right on top, but that's okay because I can actually see even there's millipede castings around these California Wonders. I'll show you. So if you look here, you can see the little like poops. Little poopsy poops that they poop out. See, they're all wandering around. So I'm gonna put the new seedlings like right in here. But you can see I have a lot of this big mulch, which is great for keeping out other things, but it would be difficult for pepper seeds to get around. So we will, because these are still looking not great. And you can see we got no bueno pest activity on them. And I think that's really my fault. I'm gonna own that, and we're gonna just start fresh. So we're gonna take 3 seeds, boom, 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 and we're gonna put them in the hole right here, boom, boom, boom. And we got nice millipede castings, come on, to go on top. All I'm doing is I'm just going right next to each plant, and I'm putting 3 new seeds next to it, and then I'm just filling in the hole. And I've got 6 I need to do for this. Good packet left. So I'm just kind of digging in. 1, 2, 3. Good. So I do not foresee that. I should probably just kill these off and just let everything start fresh. Because so we got these done, and what was next? Oh, let's start tomato trays. I've got trays. I'm using some of the same trays, but I'm also going to use this bigger one. And then right from the get, we're going to use this to like help with the whole watering, especially while I'm gone, because you know, we got places to go, vacationing to do. It's a family vacation. You can probably guess where we're going. There's like one place I vacation. What about you? What is your favorite place to travel? Now, of course, this is dehydrated soil, insanely dry, but I'm not gonna pre-mix it with water like I have in the past. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna fill these trays, and then I'm gonna fill the bins. Then I'm gonna set the trays in with water and let them hydrate while I go inside and take care of things that have nothing to do with this. And then we'll come back out in like a couple hours. Once these are naturally rehydrated, top them off. And then, yeah. I wonder how much they're gonna drop. What would you guess? 10%, 20%, 30% more? And also, what seeds are you guys starting right now in the month of December? Are you doing warm weather crops? Are you doing cold weather crops? Here's gonna be the nice thing. See, we're gonna have this like this. This is what actually worked really well once I got really behind schedule for keeping my, I did so good watering all the seedlings every single day. And then as this thing took too long to get the soil and all that happening, just putting them in trays like this during the day actually went a lot faster for me. So we're gonna leverage that right now. And what are these? These are like trays from a bajillion years ago. What is this even from? Okay, so we got tray filled, Ugh, I got soil on top of this mulch, which is not really the best idea. You know why? Because that's gonna allow weeds to come in. So I'm just gonna actually take some of that and just shove it back down below. So I'm going to fill up the bins with water. And by bins, I mean these bins. They are nothing special. They are literally from some kid thing. Someone gave us like a kid toy holding thing, and they just kind of generally just sit there most of the time. So fill this with water, set these in. I'm gonna do other stuff. We'll come back later. We'll put in the tomato seeds. So what has happened since you and I have last talked is I went and looked at my tomato seeds, and I realized I don't really have any. Or I have like a couple, but not enough to fill my tray. So I have to go get more seeds anyway. As good as my plant has been, as good and organized as I've been, I missed this, that there were only just a little bit of seeds left and that I would need to buy or order more. So adjustment to the plan, we are not gonna be doing tomatoes today. We're gonna just let all the stuff that's in ground, let it do its thing, which is kind of a little load off because while I'm on vacation, I don't need to worry about them being watered and all the things like that. So I'll have saturated soil. That'll be good. The soil will be ready to go for when I have seeds, and I can just go ahead and put in an order right now. So let's take a little look at the planner and make sure we got done all the other things that I thought I was gonna get done today. So we got the Texas Grano done. We got the Waltham 29s. We aren't replanting kale we'll keep watching that. Lettuce done, green onions done, strawberries. I took a look at the strawberries in the bed. Ben and I were looking at them, and while they don't have any greenery on them, they seem like they're solidly in the ground. They're not rotted out and like totally destroyed, and they seem to be putting out some new fuzzy things. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of a minute. The other ones, my fault. I left them in the packaging too long. Like, it's just the thing. I wasn't ready to go. Look, there were too many holidays. I was trying to share it with you guys. They sat in the package too long. I should have pulled them out. That's my bad. So when I get back from vacation, I will pot them up in something and we will just leave them, and we'll just see what we do with that. So that's what's going on with those. That's more of a to be continued. Tomatoes, not doing it. I need to go order seeds, but we did get the California Wonders planted, and we got the pimento planted. So what's next up is we need to go ahead and collect some wildflower seeds. Yay! So I made a note for myself that I got these done. And if you want to grab, of course, a planner for 2024, you can go ahead and pick it up at www.wildfloridian.net/planner. Or if you thought, hey, those beds look really cute, go ahead and check them out at www.wildfloridian.net/gardenbed. And of course, if you're into starting seeds right now and you would like some mistakes to avoid / tips on how to do it, go ahead and check out this video right here. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.